as SAM has gotten more cumbersome to do the filing, because now there's 4 stages to the filing. There's the validation process, there's that submission. Depending on your NAICS codes, it could be anywhere from like 30, 40, 50 questions. Then there's that TIN verification with the IRS you pass, and then the CAGE review with the DLA. That's really what trips a lot of people up, and it's just really skyrocketed the amount of clients that are registrants that continue coming back year after year. They just don't want to deal with it. If you're a simple W-2 employee, it's very simple to file your own taxes. You know, you can do it for free on your own. If you got multiple businesses, properties, dependents, when things get hairy, you could just go pay a tax preparer and they'll take care of it for you. We do the same exact thing, but for SAM registration.
All right. Welcome back to the Construction Game Podcast. Super excited to be here with you. And I got my good friend, Adrian. I say friend, but I've never met Adrian, but he just sounds like such a great guy. Yeah. And he's with Fed
After
Filing.
this, we'll be good friends, my friend.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Adrian, how did you start the business Fed Filing?
Oliver,
or did you start
really
it?
happened?
Are you the founder
No,
of this
I'm a
business?
co-founder.
Okay, cool.
I'm a co-founder. Before federal filing, I was doing appointment setting, high-level appointment setting for IT software, kind of like tech sales, pretty much, setting them up with a rep and chief information security officer. And then this opportunity rolled around my way, and I always knew in my heart I'll always be able to get another sales job. I'm not always going to have an opportunity to build a company from the ground up here. So now I've been here almost a little over 5 years, and I've worn practically every hat you could think of, setting up the sales funnel, setting up the operations pipeline, the call tree for the phone system, all kinds of everything, all operations you could think of. And I've seen all the changes that have occurred with SAM throughout the years too.
Yeah, that's really good. So you can just walk us through. So what actually you do when we say filing, like what do you actually do, and why is that really important if you want to do government contracting?
Right. Well, first of all, It's a prerequisite. It's a requirement. You can't do government contracting without having an active SAM registration. You need your UEI, your unique entity identifier. You need your CAGE code, your commercial and government entity code, and those are just the bare bones. You could think of it like your Social Security for your SAM registration. This is what allows you to bid for those contracts, apply for grants, apply for relief funds, and receive any of the funding that gets awarded to you. They call them awards. But that's really what it is. That we facilitate that entire process. Any registrant or owner, or company owner that's looking at getting registered, their main responsibility is just forwarding emails. Maybe we might need a couple documents, but it varies.
Yes, sir. And how many, just out of curiosity, how many of these filings do you do a year?
3,000 to 4,000 returning clients. So people that they file with us, and then the following year, if they didn't sign up for a 2 or a 3 year filing, they just come in year after year.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you think like the federal government does $7 trillion worth of purchases. I think it's actually really like 6.8, but let's round it up, $7 trillion worth of purchases. So, and they buy everything. I mean, everything from not only just construction. I sell the government construction, right? But they buy all kinds of things. So are you just working with construction people, or are you also doing filings for all the other types of businesses as well?
Everything you could think of. Cities, towns, villages, police, fire departments, hotels. We have Trek, the bike company, on board. It could be today a school board. Tomorrow it could be a nonprofit in Zimbabwe. It could be all across the board. All kinds of entities you could think of.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is if you want to do business with the federal government, you have to have a SAM registration, and that's what you do. Cool.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
We also offer SBA certifications and creating capability statements for those that are wanting to chase contracts. We obviously, before beginning the process, we make sure you're eligible, and then get the ball rolling after that.
That's great. Yeah, no, the capability statement is a huge thing, because I mean, we were doing like $10 million worth of government contracts a year, and we never even had a website. It wasn't just until recently that we got a website. And the only reason we got a website is so that we could hire great talent. We'd be like be hiring people and be like, are you even a real company? Like, cause we didn't have a website. So we created the website just to, be able to just legitimize ourselves in terms of like, hey, we're a real company. But like in terms of doing business with the government, they rely heavily on these capability statements, and my capability statement was fire. Right? I remember when I first started and we built our first capability statement, it was trash. I go back to it now and I'm like, man, that thing looks so crazy. But like, over the years, I'd go to a meeting and then I'd say, oh, I need to add this in there. I need to do this little tweak. So when you say you guys do capability statements, do you do like the one pagers? Do you do like multiple sheets? Like what do you do with the capability?
We prefer to do the one pager, and every capability statement, it's not just a one and done template. We cater it to that company, that branding, their colors. If they have a website, we'll go based off their website. And we revise it multiple times with them to make sure it fully encompasses everything that their company offers. So it's a very solid one pager that any government agency that you're looking to do business with can just look over and say, I know exactly what this company has, what they offer, who they work with, their history. I want to do business with them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, those are huge, especially, going to those vendor outreach events and trying to get your company in front of people. One of the things that I always found is like, and I went against all the rules, right? But I always made mine a couple pages longer than just that one page. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted to add pictures, right? Like I put a picture of my face in there. I put a picture of like, sometimes like you're dealing with these contracting officers and you're talking about a chiller or your air handling unit or a boiler. And they're like, they don't really understand that. They know they buy all kinds of things, but they don't really understand the word, right? But then when you show them a picture of it, they're like, oh, yeah, we buy those. Yeah, exactly, we buy those. And then it was like, boom, it literally would jog their mind to a project. And so I did add those pictures in there and for me it worked, right? But
that's
at the same time, yeah.
We had pictures in the one pager.
Yes,
obviously,
sir.
they're not blown up, but there will be a multitude of pictures. For example, we just did one where he specialized in selling all kinds of night vision goggles. So we put multiple night vision goggles in his capability statement. The guy was doing quite a few million a year just selling night vision goggles.
Yeah. No, that's pretty crazy. I mean, even just thinking about, just $3,000 to $4,000, 3 to 4,000 filings that you do a year, you must run across all kinds of interesting businesses and
everything.
And yeah, you one of the things that you got to do in this data entry for your registration is you got to put your revenue. So you see different sizes of businesses. So that's got to be kind of interesting as well.
Oh yeah. Some businesses doing multiple hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Others are doing, $200,000-$300,000 a year.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's cool. So that's, you guys are at 3,000 to 4,000 registrants a year. As it, like, where'd you guys start off? Like how do you guys start off this business and get going out in the marketplace and getting people to help?
When we first started, we would get like maybe one a day. And I think as over the years, as SAM has gotten more cumbersome to do the filing, because now there's 4 stages to the filing. There's the validation process. There's that submission where, depending on your NAICS codes, it could be anywhere from like 30, 40, 50 questions. Then there's that TIN verification with the IRS you pass, and then the CAGE review with the DLA. I think that's really what trips a lot of people up, and it's just really skyrocketed the amount of clients that are registrants that continue coming back year after year. They just don't want to deal with it.
I hear you. We got to figure out how we can work with you guys, because I mean it's a lot. I mean, especially if you have because we have a couple different locations too. So you got to do this filing for every location, and the filing always comes at the wrong time. It's like you got a million other things coming on, and then all of a sudden you got to do this filing, and it's like it just no, 100%, I get it.
We did I think it was down here, it was local. It was like 12 Marriott locations in one go. You know, the manager for that district, he's like, I'm not going to deal with this. How much is it for a package deal? And we just worked with them. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. So you're getting like one a day, and then all of a sudden, like, how did you guys start finding the people to utilize your services, or were you guys running like Google ads and all that stuff, or like how were you guys getting?
No, just emails. Just emails. No cold calling. We typically send 3 emails out. There's one 60 days prior, another one 30 days prior, and then the last one usually the week of. And when they see it, if they're in need, if they're coming up short, they'll give us a call. And we always let them know it's completely free to do it on your own. You don't have to pay for the service. Yeah. You know, I always tell them you could go straight into sam.gov, log into your account, and begin the renewal process there. I can't tell you how many callbacks I've gotten. You know, they go take a crack at it on their own. And they're like, you know what? How much was the fee?
Yeah. And now that you say now that you say that, so you guys track the sam.gov system, and you're like, okay, these people are going to expire in 60 days, so we're sending them an email. These people are expiring in 30 days. Oh wow, okay. I probably even got an email from you before.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I almost guarantee that. That's crazy. That's wild. That's actually a really smart business model. Now I'm really thinking about it, because you're literally you have like all these people that literally are gonna be running their head against a brick wall, and like you're like, hey, I got a solution for you, like right here.
If you need it, if you need it, we're here. I like to compare it to filing taxes. You know, if you're a simple W-2 employee, it's very simple to file your own taxes. You know, you can do it for free on your own. If not, if you got multiple businesses, properties, dependents, when things get hairy, you could just go pay a tax preparer and they'll take care of it for you. We do the same exact thing, but for SAM registrations. There's a bunch that are super simple. A lot of nonprofits like churches, they're very, very simple. Others that are actually doing business or constantly applying for grants, and it really depends on the NAICS codes. It can alter those questions that you answer throughout the process. Sometimes it get rejected from it could be an address change, and the state and the DLA and SAM aren't coinciding. So then it gets rejected and they get the cage fail. They go back, resubmit, not knowing what the discrepancy is. And then, 2-3 months go by and they're like, I've been at this banging my head against the wall, nothing's happening. Then they'll reach out and we'll take care of it for them.
Yes, sir. And then, so just walk me through the growth a little bit too. Like, was it just like in the beginning, it was just like 1 or 2 filings, or was it like, did it just go like, the next year it was like 2,000 people that just said yes? Was it a big jump, or was it just...
No, not at all. Not at all a big jump. Okay. It just slowly started growing. And again, I'd accredit the growth to the complexity that SAM has been implementing over the years. 5 years ago, it was the easiest thing in the world to get through it. The only people that would really submit orders are those that are getting rejected. And it could be from being locked out, having company turnover, those cage fails. But as they've continued adding these different steps, it's just, the orders have just skyrocketed.
Yeah. So you're saying over the last couple of years, like they've just gone crazy because the process has definitely changed. Yeah.
For sure.
I actually remember this is a good story here. We were going after this project down in Texas. It was a multiple award construction contract, and we had it through another location, right? And we were trying to get the registration for that registered, right? And we literally had submitted our information, but it kept like telling me like this fail button, or it kept getting this fail. And like, I mean, this was $100 million multiple work construction contract. There was 5 people that they were selecting for this contract, and we were one of them. And then I was like, my SAM registration was literally failing. The guy's literally telling me, hey dude, I want to send you a contract, but you're not registered. So like, luckily he gave me like a week to figure it out, and we ended up figuring it out. But like, man, now that we're talking about it, it's like, well, you're right. Like the process is really challenging.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've had so many of those clients that come in, and they're on a time crunch. They need to get this done. A lot of people have been at it for a couple of weeks, or maybe a month or two before they finally reach out to us. It's not like they come in and they're just going to pay for something that's free. They're paying for the service because they usually have already tried on their own multiple times.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that was a game changer, because I mean, even the first year of being on that contract, it was a little slow last year, but the first year we were on that contract, I mean, we won like $20 million worth of work on that contract. So imagine if we had missed that filing, weren't able to get our company registered in the time frame that he gave us. I mean, that was the turning point of like where McKinsey really started to like build traction with these multiple work construction contracts and MATOCs. So that like it built our confidence, and then it built out our team. Honestly, we built a lot of our team down in that South Texas market just because of those MATOCs and multiple work construction contracts. And then we utilized that team in other areas of the United States. So yeah, no, that was a huge contract for us. And it was super painful and stressful at the time. So yeah, no, that's huge.
Yeah. We're probably going to go through a very painful and stressful time next year, building that procurement bridge, hopefully offering services like that where we'll do the bidding for you. You just got to go do the work.
Yeah. So walk me through that. So you guys will find the opportunity for people. They're going to, like, would you also do the proposals, or like, what does that process look like?
We're looking at bringing some bid writers on board, maybe partnering with some people, and being able to kind of specialize in industries, IT, transportation, construction, and offer those services to those that are hunting contracts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And so like that, you're going to do the bid writing, but like there's like when you submit a proposal on a construction contract, for example, there's 2 parts, right? Like I always tell people, it's not just, hey, just create your numbers and submit that. Like, no, there's the other part. There's the technical part, right? So are you guys going to be doing the technical part and the numbers part, or just the technical part?
I think it would be the technical part and vetting the numbers part with the business owner himself, making sure that the numbers play out for them before we submit anything.
Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah. But everything would be under that other company's name. Like it's basically their contract.
Absolutely.
They have to execute on it. They have to perform.
Yes.
They have to. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. So where did you guys get that thought process from, or what are because I like it. I think that's it's really
we'd like to be we'd like to be a one-stop shop. We'd like to be able to set your company up with the SAM registration and get your UEI and your cage code, set you up with the product with the proper product and service codes, your NAICS codes, and see if you're eligible for any SBA certifications. If you are, wonderful, and find opportunities for your company. Ultimately, I think the success that we have with helping another company, it's of course going to help us, because that's going to spread through word of mouth. They're going to say, hey, we partnered with Federal Filing, or we went with them to get our company set up to do business with the U.S. government. And look, we're already receiving fruits from those seeds that we planted. So that's ultimately our I guess moonshot, be a all one-stop shop for any company that's looking to do business with the U.S. federal government.
Love it. Now, do you think you already have people that you're already doing the filings for, that you'd be doing these services for, or would this be like a new group of, okay.
Absolutely. I get that question all the time. We just don't have that ability yet.
Yes, sir. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're basically you're helping them on the front end, basically the first step, right? So you're getting them on the first step. You can get them registered and all that stuff, but that also proves the other side of this thing is that there's tens and hundreds of thousands of businesses that have their SAM registration, and that does not guarantee you a contract.
Exactly. Yeah. That is true. Yeah. That is very true. I get a lot of phone calls where, unfortunately, there's this misconception where they think just by having the SAM registration, contracts should be flying in through the door. It's not like that. That I feel like that's just step number one. Now the real work begins. You got to hunt. You got to see what agency your products and services would be a great fit for, be it if it's local, state, or we want to specialize in federal. I feel like the opportunity is really in federal contracts.
Yeah. So my dad originally introduced me to federal contracts. And then I had a mentor that really helped develop my skill set in federal contracts. He'd been doing it for like 20 years, and he had a bunch of projects up in the Northeast, up in Massachusetts. And one thing, my first meeting with him, he's like, "Hey kid, I got a bunch of contracts, but I'm not giving you any of my contracts." And but the key thing that he said is, "But if you go out there and get contracts, I'll help you get them done." And that's all I needed to hear.
Wow.
Right? Like that was like a huge confidence booster for me at the time. Was like, "Hey, all right." Like, and he gave me the game plan. He told me like, "Hey, do this and don't do that. Do this and don't do that." And I followed the game plan, and it took me a year to get my first contract. But since then it's just been like contract after contract after contract after contract, and we haven't looked back since.
That's beautiful. That's great. That's great. I have two mentors that have helped me out through this entire journey. There's no way I'd be here without them. I was some knucklehead kid that came in. I always came from an employee mindset and background. So switching over to the business mindset, understanding like, hey, you're not working a 9 to 5 here anymore. It's going to take a lot more than that to get the ball rolling. Yeah. It was a huge wake-up call. But having those mentors really, really, puts air under your wings and gives you the courage to take that leap of faith. I hope from a year from now, we can possibly jump on another podcast here and I could tell you, hey, look, man, I won my first contract.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You get a bunch of people register, man. Now it's time to get your first contract. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's, it's when I first got into the government space, you'd hear these like horror stories, like, people have been, got their registration and all their certifications and all that stuff. And they had it for 10 years and they never had a contract. And that was one thing my dad always ingrained in my head is like, man, you got to be more than just a certification of the contract, man. You got to be able to execute. So, I mean, the team constantly hears me. We got to be able to get things to the finish line. We got to be able to win. We got to be able to make plays. And honestly, I love even just looking at like seeing sports. You see the running back make the linebacker miss, or like a wide receiver make the cornerback miss. I love seeing that because it's the same thing in business. You got to be able to make plays. You got to be able to make money. You got to be able to execute. It's not just, hey, I got the jersey on and like I'm a NFL star. No, you got to be able to go out there in the field and you got to make somebody miss. You got to be able to go out there on the basketball court and dunk on somebody, or cross them over or do something. So the only way you get that skill set is by drilling, practicing, and rehearsing. And that's what I did. I remember the first times even making calls to a government official for a project, I was fumbling and dumbling all over my speech. Like my pitch was horrible, and I'll admit it. Like, and my pitch should have been better before I started making those calls. But by making those calls, I perfected my pitch, and instead of saying that, I said this, and then I realized that by asking these questions up front would start getting engagement versus like immediate like red flags and blockers coming up. So like I've tweaked my pitch so that it did work. So yeah, no, I love that mentality and that thought process.
It's definitely a refinement process.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. I think before jumping on board here, that appointment setting job that I had, I mean, it was a doghouse. It was so bad. I was the youngest one there in my business unit, and similar to the pitching thing, if I stuttered, I'm talking to some high level people running Fortune 500 companies, they'll just hang up on me. It's an open floor plan. Everyone can hear you pitching. So if you just stop pitching mid pitch, they're like, oh, they banged on you. They hung up on you. And I think that definitely kind of prepared me for the hardships that were going to come with navigating that SAM system, with dealing with some difficult clients where you got to hunt them down, try and get some documentation from them, go through the process of getting them renewed. I do think there's a big refinement process through the hardships that we go through for us to eventually be able to cross that finish line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what are some of the key turning points that you guys have had in your business where things weren't going as well, but like you guys figured out like a new way to pivot and keep things going the right direction?
I would say the change from when they cut ties with Dun and Bradstreet and they got rid of the Duns number. You remember that? They kind of switched over to the cage code, or no, I apologize, the UEI, the unique entity identifier. I think that was a massive shift in the business where we had to pivot quickly because people didn't know what was going on. So they were very hesitant to submit orders if they wanted to be renewed. They were like, what is this whole UEI thing? What happened to my DUNS number? I think that was a massive pivotal moment in the business.
So how did you guys work through that? Were you like making more phone calls versus emails? Like how did you guys work through that and navigate through that?
We definitely got a big influx of phone calls, but we never focused on cold calling people. We would just send the email out, and through the email template, kind of letting them know what the change that just occurred, what it is for, and trying to clear the air for them, understanding that, hey, look, this doesn't change your expiration date. That you're still going to expire soon. If you still want to receive the funding that you've been receiving, or if you're going after these contracts or grants, then you do want to make sure to pay some attention to this and renew your registration.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, and now that you say that, that is why we had that issue before getting awarded that $100 million multiple award construction contract. It was exactly that. The the DUNS number got transferred to the UEI number, and there was the system wasn't recognizing each other, and it was literally creating this hang up. So I couldn't the entity was there, but I couldn't renew it, and it was like the craziest thing in the world. And I was like, man, but that is exactly
especially
the issue.
When you got $100 million contract sitting on your lap.
Yeah. And that was our first MAC that we won. That was our first MAC. And then it opened our whole mindset to this whole new world of things,
Right.
Yeah. So you guys are now going to start helping companies go after those MACs, or just any type of proposal that, anything that's posted on sam.gov, basically.
That is the goal for 2026. That's absolutely the goal. We're well-versed in getting SBA certifications and creating the capability statements, and of course renewing SAM registrations, which that was our bread and butter. That's how we first started off. That next big bridge that we're building will be the procurement side. We'll be winning contracts for companies that obviously are well built, or if they're not well built, at least we can point them in the right direction to get to that point to where now we have real potential of winning contracts for them.
Love it. So how do people get in touch with you?
Through any one of the social medias, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, through DMs, they can contact us. My direct line is 813-848-0237, or you can always visit federalfiling.com, schedule a consultation. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or concerns anyone has regarding the SAM registration, SBA certification, or capability statement process.
Love it, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, this is step one. You got to be able to get registered first to do work with the government. They spend $7 trillion, but you got to get your SAM registration first. And they do it.
I don't think people can really wrap their head around that number. Like, that is such a massive number. All you want is a little sliver of the pie, and you're set. You're good.
It's so funny that you say that, because when I first got into government contracting, that was the exact math that I did. I was like, all right, the government spends $7 trillion. All right, so 10% of that is $700 billion. I don't even need that. Okay, I just need 10% of that. So 10% of 700 billion is $7 billion. I don't even need that. I don't even need that.
Right.
So let's say 10% of $7 billion is 700 million. I don't even need that. No. So let's say 10% of 700 million is 70 million. Like, now that sounds great. Like, that's where that's where we're getting at now, right? But like, at the time, that was still even a massive number.
Absolutely.
My goal at the time was actually 10%. 10% of that, which was $7 million, right? So I was like, man, this is like 1% of 1%. It's like, this is, I have to be at least able to
totally
get
feasible.
Like, I'm not asking to be the biggest right now, like, but I gotta at least be able to get 7 million out of 7 trillion. Like, there's no one who's gonna stop me if I put all my time, energy, and effort into this. And
here
the
math works out. It works out. Yeah. I just need 1% of 1%, and I'm good.
Yes, sir. This is great, man. I really appreciate you. This is awesome to connect with you and do the deep dive on this thing. This is, again,
the honor was
like
mine,
I say it all the time. This is step one to getting the government contract, federal filings.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Oliver.
Cool.